Thank goodness it's Friday. I think I'm going live. Happy Friday, everyone. It actually rained a little in Sacramento and there were thunderstorms, uh, but it didn't rain very hard, which is a good thing because we've still got a ton of stuff out in the carport area here that we've haven't found room for in the house yet. So we've got stuff in boxes outside. And can you imagine the panic we've been feeling when we start to hear it start to rain? It's just another crazy thing. But does that stop me from being with you? Well, it should, but it isn't. It didn't rain that much, and we were very, very lucky, but we're going to have to get that stuff out of here. Constance doesn't want it stored, and I don't blame her. We need to deal with it here. But enough about me. Let's talk about me and magic. We talk a little about Enochian magic, especially the aethers, the 30 aethers yesterday because of stuff I was unpacking and things. And so I thought, well, let's uh, let's take a little peek at the other major section of Enochian magic, which is the elemental section. We touched briefly on it as that those four elemental tablets in the center of that diagram, around which is the 30 concentric rings of the aethers, and we poked our nose into aether number 30 yesterday when I recited the Nokian call to do that. Let's look at that elemental section for a moment. And this is the tablet of union, and those are the angelic letters. So, but it actually says in the top row, it says X harp. In the next, Hakama, Nanta, and Bitum. Okay, and you can easily see from this angle that they would represent angels of air, water, earth, fire. Okay? Air, water, earth, fire. The Nokians seem to love that order. But here's something I don't think I've looked at. It's one of the first things I did with Falcon Press back in the late 80s, early 90s. And it's been published in several other editions. And this one is just with the Crowley material and what my contribution of it was. And it's this one is published by New Falcon Publications, and this is a 2011 version, just as the Enochian World of Aleister Crowley, but it's in several editions, and several editions with material by Dr. Christopher Hyatt also in it. But here's what I had to say. Boy, now down in Costa Mesa we had a lot of airplanes going over because I was so near the airport. But this is kind of unique. I hope it's not aircraft going to spread water on the wildfires around here. It might very well be. But anyway, this book is actually an extended commentary on Aleister Crowley's Liber Chanokh, which is his Enochian material that was first published in Equinox Volume 1, number 6, I believe, of Volume 1. But it says, as you can see from plates 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, the squares of the elemental tablets and the tablet of union are really pyramids with flat tops. Now, those plates in Liber Genoch are English versions of something that looks like this. This is the tablet of union. This is the big tablet that rules all four of those great big elemental tablets. It's a little tablet that rules the big tablets. And you can see that there's symbols of the elements on there. The spirit is that wheel. So you can see it's mostly spirit here, okay? But we have the symbols of air, water, earth, and fire. And they're in the columns. They're in the columns of that first column to the far left, and they're spread out in the left and right columns of the 16 remaining. Now those 16 remaining squares are the subangles of the four elemental tablets. And that first column is like the rules the entire elemental tablet itself. So, and if we put that in, that would be a version in English. Exharp, like the archangel of air, if you will. Hakama, the archangel of water. Nanta, the archangel of earth. And fire, the archangel, or Betum, the archangel of fire. So that first column, Exharp, H-E, or E-H-N-B, rules everything else. That E rules the X-A-R-P, the H rules the C-O-M-A, the N rules the A-N-T-A, and the B rules the I-T-O-M. So actually, let's look at Exharp there. The X-A-R-P live inside the E. So air being in the tarot, the suit of swords, that E would be the ace of swords, and the X would be the prince of swords, the A would be for water, would be the queen of swords, the R for earth would be the princess of swords, and the P, which is fire, would be the knight of swords. That's how you put the tarot and Enochian together. But I said they're pyramids, okay? The pyramid with its four sides and top is a specially appropriate symbol for the four elements ruled by spirit. Each side of an Enochian pyramid has a very special attribute. There are 20 pyramids. Maybe I'll just hold it up for us here. There are 20 pyramids in a tablet of union. Now those elemental tablets themselves, there's 156 pyramids in them. Okay, so these little guys have a lot of workers working under them. Okay. Each pyramid houses an angel with a one-letter name. And I'm talking about each pyramid in here and each pyramid in each of the 156 pyramids of all four elemental tablets. Let's see. Okay, so each pyramid houses an angel with a one-letter name. The attributes of that angel are determined by the positioning of the pyramid upon the tablet and the proportions of the different elements represented on its four sides. So the characteristics of the angel with a one-letter name is determined by the coloring, if you will, of the sides of the pyramid. Where two pyramids are combined together, like one pyramid with its next door neighbor, when two pyramids are combined, they form an angel with a two-letter name, whose attributes are a bit more complex, and so on. To easily understand how these attributes are determined, I will give the reader the most valuable hint of all. Hand color the freaking plates. Okay. So in the book, I'm assuming that you either have this book, which has the plates, let's see, that has all the plates illustrated here from Liber Hanoch, and that you could just print out, take the book to the copy machine. See, the plates look like that. Okay. That's the elemental tablet. Okay. Hand color the plates. Before attempting to understand the second section of part 3 of Liber Hanoch, you're well advised to make photocopies of plates 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then hand color the pyramids. By coloring the pyramids, you'll learn in the fastest and easiest way the logic behind their construction. And here's the coloring key for each pyramid. And I guess I'll hold this up for a second. So if you're familiar with what triangle, what kind of triangle represents air, water, earth, and fire, you could follow along here. Leave the square of each pyramid which contains the letter, and in this case you see the angelic letter, leave that uncolored for the time being. The sides with the spirit symbol, and that's that wheel, okay, you leave that white. The sides with the fire triangle, that's the triangle with, let's see there, that's a good one. With the apex pointing up, that's the fire triangle. You paint that red. And the sides with the water one, that would be the one with the triangle with the apex pointing down. You paint that blue. And the sides with the air one, which is a triangle with apex pointing up with a little line through it, you paint that yellow. And the sides with the earth one, which is a triangle apex pointing down with a line through it, you'd paint that either green or black. I suggest that you start with the Tablet of Union, I wisely tell you. Even though it's small, it is a very important tablet, for its angels, Exharp, Hakama, Nanta, and Batum, rule the four elemental tablets. Exharp rules the air tablet, Hakama rules the water tablet, Nanta rules the earth tablet, and Batum rules the fire tablet. Okay. And here they are in a fully colored thing. The top row, Exharp. Second row, Hakama. Next row, Nanta. Bottom row, Batum. The Tablet of Union is considered the elemental tablet of spirit, The four elements are represented in their purest form, undifferentiated by the level of admixture that characterizes the other four elements. It binds them together so that they can combine to be the building blocks of creation, yet keeps them separated just enough to prevent the loss of their individual and fundamental natures. This active, passive quality of spirit is the reason there are two types of spirit pentagrams, active and passive. Spirit is a pushing, pulling thing. It's active and passive. If your ceremonial magicians know that we learn two types of spirit pentagrams, to invoke and banish. There's an active or a spirit pentagram active and a spirit pentagram passive. The sign of the enter that you make in the Golden Dawn is always followed by the sign of silence. You can't have one without the other. Okay. And it's the same thing when dealing with the Holy Guardian Angel, that there's the love that you give out in pure, unoccluded ray of love, and then there's the love that you allow yourself to receive back. They both got to happen at the same time. Okay. The angels of the Tablet of Union can be said to be the very roots of the angels of the elemental tablets. Once you've colored your Tablet of Union, you'll discover that a very simple pattern is formed by the attributes of the lines and files or columns. Okay, now let's take a peek here. The top, we're looking at the tops of them there, see that? There's the Tablet of Union, and now we're looking down at the tops, okay? We're the top and bottom section of each pyramid is attributed to spirit. The right side, okay, the right side is attributed to the primary element as dictated by the line the pyramid is located. So we see all that yellow in the top line, that's air. See all that blue in the second line, that's water. See all that green in the third line, that is earth. And see all the red at the bottom line, that's fire. The right side is attributed to the primary element, and the left side to the secondary element. Okay. Now those columns, okay, see that first column? That's all spirit. But the second column, that's the column of air, secondary column of air. The third one, that's the secondary column of water. The third one, that's the secondary column of earth. And the last one is the secondary column of fire. So, primary, ex harp hakumananta batum, secondary. And those secondary ones are the 16 court cards of the tarot, the admixture of the subangles of the elemental tablets. The lines. The 4 5-letter names, ex harp hakumananta batum, are the primary spirits of the element. Each spirit governs an entire elemental tablet. Ex harp is the spirit of air and governs the entire elemental tablet. The right section of each pyramid of ex harp is air. And, okay, in the sense of just repeating what Lon has just said. Okay. Okay. The columns. The same order, air, water, earth, fire, is represented in the columns of the tablet as the secondary attributes, which appear on the left side. We've shown that. The first column, EHNB, is the purest of all the column names. It's like the initials of all four archangels. So an angel made up of the initials of the four archangels is like the archangel of angels, of archangels. And 16 letters remaining in the four columns contain both primary and secondary attributes. Okay, so each line of those 16 has two attributes. So air of air, water of air, earth of air, fire of air. See how easy it is to wrap your brain around it when you hand color your own stuff? Okay. An easy way to think about how the Tablet of Union relates to the other four tablets is to pretend you have an elemental microscope. Take the E. That's an elemental E. From X harp and put it on your microscope, and you see the entire elemental tablet of air inside that. Put that under a microscope and you see an entire 156 square tablet of air. Okay. But take the O, let's see, from Bitom. Okay. Put it under your microscope and you will see the Earth subangle of the fire table. Okay. That being said, I thought this was only going to take a second, but it probably took a whole lot longer, and it probably has confused you more than it's helped you. But when we first started to do Enochian Magick at Monday Night Magic class, we stayed away from the Tablet of Union because somewhere I carelessly glossed over and read a remark Crowley had made, and to the effect of, and the Tablet of Union is the source of that mischief. And I said, oh, mischief, oh, Crowley says mischief, oh. And I didn't read it carefully enough at first, and I jumped to the conclusion that he was being negative about the Tablet of Union. But all he was doing was making a reference about how the Tablet of Union simply could be thought of as the ace, the four aces, and there's the 16 court cards. And it was a turn of phrase that he used. Well, to understand how many angels can live inside these tarot cards, we need only turn to the Enochian Tablet of Union, which is the source of this mischief. It was just the opposite. I should have I read it wrong. And for a long time, well over a year of meeting twice a week, we stayed away from the elemental tablet. And finally, when I reread it, I'm sorry, guys. Let's work with this Tablet of Union, because it's a source of good mischief, And once we started working with it, the first Enochian call opens up the entire Tablet of Union. And at the time, we were using the pronunciation that Crowley used, which is pretty much how the Golden Dawn did it. and everything's working fine. Okay. Hey, as far as Enochian pronunciation goes, I'm on the extreme left wing of opinion here. Uh, if it's so important to you to think that you that there is a correct Orthodox pronunciation for Enochian, go ahead and think that. That's part of your art form. But for heaven's sakes, if you turn to the original D material and see how the angels are suggesting that they pronounce things, it's pretty straightforward, letter for letter. If we give you the equivalent of an English letter B, it's pretty much sounded like B, okay, like you'd handle a B, okay. There's you could add a vowel sound to it, ba, bee, boo, boo, ba, 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 be, after it, or go ahead. And the Golden Dawn, I didn't like all these consonants back to back, like the word Zims, Z-I-M-Z, okay, Zims, no. We should sound out the letters. Zod-me-zod. Okay, listen. I don't think the Enochian angels give a shit if you've got a thick Enochian accent. Excuse me. They're just freaking impressed that you're trying to speak their language. They're like the French. They'll give you credit for any attempt to speak Enochian. As a matter of fact, it probably amuses them. Not only that, but experience has told me that some of the insanely good Enochian visions that we've done in a group setting have followed the most hideously butchered version of the call. If a mouse crawled up on your shoe and started to speak one of your favorite poems, you wouldn't care if it spoke with a thick accent. You'd just turn your attention, your gaze, your elevation of consciousness its way. You would go into its space. And that's the whole theory about how Enochian, how these calls elevate your consciousness. From a allegorical or a metaphoric point of view, you could say that these calls are specific favorite songs of specific angels. It's like an angel's walking by a low part of town, which is your consciousness, and all of a sudden from inside, a building, they hear their own school song. Wow, I didn't expect my own school song to be coming out of an idiot like this. I'm going to have to come in and see what's going on. And they come in and see what's going on. And when they come in, they bring with them their own frequency of consciousness, and that fills the room and your cranium for at least a short period of time, while they say, okay, you've got my attention, and my attention brings with it a frequency of consciousness that you could take advantage of, at least for a moment or two. And that's when the scrying takes place. So don't worry too much about pronunciation. Just start in. And there's very good pronunciation guides. Dr. John DeSalvo wrote a beautiful book on it because he's really a beautiful purist when it comes to that. And I do more or less what it appears that the letters do. In the most primitive form possible, which is more or less how Donald Laycock in the Enochian Dictionary shares. But the Crowley Golden Dawn method is how I learned and did it for the first three years. And it works fine, okay? And so we learned the first 2 calls and started to work. The first call opens up this entire elemental tablet. You don't use it for the first call opens up the tablet of union. What am I doing? There we go. First call opens up the tablet of union. The second call specifically calls EHNB. And we soon discovered that EHNB is such a universal, omniscient being that EHNB makes the perfect classic angel that you would think of as a classic angel guide, because he knows, or it knows, pretty much everything about everything, because it's a total balance of absolutely everything, and everything else is contained within itself. It's perfect. Ask it anything. It's a little aloof, but ask it anything. If it's knowable, EHNB knows it. Okay. For 3 years we did previous incarnations with EHNB. It's just incredible. But anyway, I'm going to read to you the first call that opens up this tablet of union that we've been talking about. And I'm going to use the Crowley pronunciation. So if you are ready, if you don't want to hear it, lock the door. Run away. Crowley used classic Golden Dawn temple openings, and I include them all in here. And of course, once the method to the madness and why that would make sense for you to do it, go ahead and do it. So here is the first key. I'll read you the translation first. I reign over ye, saith the God of justice, in power exalted above the firmament of wrath, in whose hand the sun is as a sword, and the moon as a thrusting fire, who measureth your garments in the midst of my vestures, and trussed you together as the palms of my hand, whose seats I garnished with the fire of gathering, and beautified your garments with admiration, to whom I made a law to govern the holy ones, and delivered ye a rod with the ark of knowledge. For moreover, you lifted up your voices and sware obedience and faith to him that liveth and triumpheth, whose beginning is not, nor end cannot be, which shineth as a flame in the midst of your palaces, and reigneth among you as the balance of righteousness and truth. Move, therefore, and show yourselves. Open the mysteries of your creation. Be friendly unto me, for I am the servant of the same your God, true worshipper of the highest. That is the school song. That's the lyrics of the school song of the Tablet of Union. Ol sanu faul saji gohu iad belata, elanu saha ke elazod vampo, sobrezod ol ro rei ta nazada pesad, gira ata ma ele pereje, das hoel ko ka a nota hoa zodemezod, od komimea ta nobloba zodien. Sobatahil jinanupe pereje aladi. Das vaurebe sobolahegere sam. Kasarem hohora lakababayre. Das zodunure nusajika birem ya denahe. Pilahe fare zodem zodunure zoda. Adana gono yadapiel das home tohe. Soba ipemi luipimis das sobolavepe zodameda poamal. Odbogira yi ta piape piamoel odva oan. Zodakare eke o zodomoranu. Odo kikaleka a. Ka zodore de lape zodore do noko mada ho athahe I o I da a. And that's where we'll stop for today. Start your weekend, everyone. Hope you have a good one. And we'll see you tomorrow, I hope, for Saturday morning. Until then, continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.